Let us pray. God of new beginnings, our hearts beat with gratitude and our minds race with excitement as we experience newness all around us. Even if we had 10,000 tongues, they would be insufficient to voice the full symphonic expression of our thoughts and feelings on this glorious day. In this sacred space, we pause before the daily pace really picks up on campus. We slow down and watch ourselves pass by. And as we watch, we see some who are shaking with ecstatic enthusiasm. We observe others who are quiet, nervous, and unsure. We see some scratching their heads, wondering how they were even accepted into Duke, while others are standing quite confident that Duke made the right decision to accept them. Some miss home and others rejoice to finally be away from home. Whatever our state of mind and heart, may we experience strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. We receive today as a gift, knowing that tomorrow is no guarantee. We receive the beauty of this great towering church, this beloved sacred icon, as a foreshadowing of the beautiful journey ahead. Fill our days with the creative colors of stained glass windows, even as the southern thunderstorms may roll. Let buoyant music fill our lives and reverberate like cathedral organ pipes amid the global and local cacophony of violent refrains. Ignite our imaginations to rise to the heights of these vaulted ceilings, reaching beyond ourselves to find our true selves, even eclipsing the life we are living with the life that wants to live in and through us. As we sit in the wooden pews or touch the hallowed stones, may we remember the past with an eye toward the future, remembering that we didn't arrive at this institution solely by our own will and resources, because someone paid for us, prayed for us, encouraged us, taught us, and mentored us to bring us to this great day. We give thanks for those who've made it possible for us to be here at dear old Duke. We acknowledge that we are not self-made, and we honor the cloud of witnesses who surround us with love. Let love, not hate, be our guide, inside and outside the classroom as we embark on this new educational journey, so that this Duke community would reveal the essence of your beloved community, and we would come to know that we are more alike than different. As we research, study, and serve, help us to leverage knowledge for the common good of the world, and by doing so become more fully human and whole in the process. Let the joy and excitement of today as students, staff, faculty, and administrators lead us to a deeper sense of gratitude for every good gift, including this university and each other. May this class of 2021 be a class that all remember, not because they partied hard or were the most creative and innovative, but because they knew what it meant to learn, live, and love in community. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you, Dean Powery, for that powerful and moving invocation. As president, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Duke University. All summer long, the faculty and staff of the university have been hard at work preparing for your arrival. Syllabi have been revised, books have been ordered, desks have been polished, and the sod has been laid. And who knows, perhaps for one of you, half of your luggage was accidentally shipped to Cincinnati. At any rate, now, after all the preparation, the day has finally arrived for you and your classmates to say goodbye to your families and to settle into your rooms. I will keep these remarks brief because I know how excited you must be to explore campus and get to know your classmates, your teammates, and new friends, to get on with your new lives as a part of this extraordinary community. I share your anticipation because this will be my first year at Duke as well. My wife Annette and our dogs, Scout and Cricket, made the move to campus just a few weeks ago, and we too are still settling in. So as your fellow first-year Dookie, I'm proud to start my career alongside you. In the long history of Duke, the class of 2021 is truly remarkable. A record number of students, 34,480 to be exact, applied for a seat in this magnificent chapel, and fewer than 1 in 10 were admitted. Among you are the first youth ambassador to the USDA Task Force on Hunger, a volunteer firefighter, national champions in archery and kayaking, and a European champion chess master. You have all worked hard to be here, sitting among the brightest and perhaps most promising students in the world. Each of you and every one of you brings something new, something wonderful to this campus. And together, like so many different pieces of glass, you will come together, as in these fantastic stained glass windows, and make the class of 21 the beautiful mosaic it will become. Now, I have some news for you. Despite all your preparation, despite your accomplishments, the next 4 years are going to be hard. At times, really, really hard. Your professors are going to ask you questions that you've never considered, much less know the answers to. Questions that will challenge you to recognize and to alter your preconceptions. You may experience the frustrations of working through some challenging cleanliness issues with your roommates, or navigating other rocky personal issues as you encounter people who are just different from you. And you will need to figure out how to navigate the C1 and C2 buses between the East and West campus. And by the way, if you ever find yourself on a bus labeled the Schedule 1082, that is the Greyhound to Washington, D.C. It is not a shuttle to the Washington Duke. You will have to face new and profound demands on your time. Someday soon, you'll have 2 papers, due very soon, a midterm in your hardest class, a club event, and a friend's birthday on the same day. And you will find that as recent events and issues surrounding this very chapel illustrate so well, you are not isolated from the cares, needs, demands, and controversies of our nation and world. Indeed, you are called upon to engage in thoughtful and sometimes very difficult conversations about our history, our present, and most important, the course of our futures together. It can and will feel overwhelming, and you're bound to lose your footing now and again. And when this happens, do not panic. Remember that every single one of your classmates is going to feel that same way at some point. And the same goes for your professors, your parents, and certainly for me. We all lose our footing from time to time. The fact is, we have all experienced what the poet and essayist Wendell Berry called the bewilderments of the human condition. So, it is with years of experience that I'm going to let you in on a secret. The freedom to feel bewildered is the greatest gift that Duke offers you. Every member of this community, the faculty, staff, and your fellow students, is dedicated to giving you the opportunity to explore challenging, truly challenging ideas and to try things on without fear of judgment. And I hope you will take full advantage of everything this university has to offer. I hope you seek and embrace bewilderment. I want to forewarn you that you can squander this opportunity. You can squander it by staying within your safety zones, your comfort zone, relying too much on what you know, on the tried and true. Do that, and you risk leaving the greater truth untried. You can squander it by loading up on too many activities or burdening yourself with too many commitments. Don't let life after college loom over your every decision here. You will have years for all of that to fall into place. Instead, remember that your time here isn't so much about preparing for a career as it is about deepening your sense of self and your appreciation of other perspectives. Now, I don't want you to skip class, but please don't spend all day in the library either. Take time to walk through the splendid Duke Gardens or check out the Nasher Museum, throw a Frisbee here on the quad, and yes, get into heated political debates with a hallmate. And perhaps most importantly, get some sleep. And you know, I'm serious about this last one. Skipping sleep will make your grades, your friendships, and your health suffer. Okay, I know I sound like your parents here, but trust me on this. And speaking of parents, they must be feeling a little bewildered right now as well. This is the last time you'll all be together before family weekend in October. That may seem like a long way off, but I know, again from experience, that the next 8 weeks will go much more slowly for them than they will for you. And now a word to the proud mothers and fathers and families who are watching us on live stream. When you get a call, and you will, from your bewildered student, please resist the natural, understandable temptation, that parental instinct to intervene. Instead, please trust in the resources and institutional support that Duke offers. Instead, give your son or daughter that opportunity to figure things out on his or her own. We all have to remember that there is another side of bewilderment. Only through feeling bewildered will we learn something truly new or build new confidence in our convictions. It's the catalyst for the development of self-awareness, of knowledge, and of character. So, as you embark on your careers at Duke, as you go along with me now on this journey, I wish you the very best in the bewildering, joyful days ahead. Again, welcome to Duke. Let me now introduce the university leaders and your deans, and I ask that you please hold your applause until I am finished. Duke's Chief Academic Officer and Provost, Professor Sally Kornbluth. Executive Vice President, Dr. Tolman Trask III. Dean of Trinity College of Arts and Sciences, Professor Valerie Ashby. Dean of the Pratt School of Engineering, Professor Ravi Bellamkonda. Dean of the Sanford School of Public Policy, Professor Kelly Brownell. Representing the Nicholas School of the Environment, Professor Emily Klein, Director of Undergraduate Studies. And Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Larry Moneta. It is now my pleasure to call upon Professor Steve Nowicki, Dean and Vice Provost of Undergraduate Education.
Class of 2021, let me add my welcome to Duke. Welcome to our Duke community. I have a letter framed on the wall of my laboratory in the BioSci building. If you stop by my lab, you'll see it there, very prominently displayed. Now, when you frame a letter like this, it's sometimes because the letter is an important historical document. For example, there's a framed letter in President Price's office. This is a letter that Duke University's first president, William Preston Few, drafted for James B. Duke in 1924, guaranteeing that he would provide the endowment that led to the creation of Duke University. That letter is a great piece of Duke history, and it's certainly worth hanging on the wall. The letter on the wall of my lab has no historical significance, however. It has only personal significance. When someone hangs a more personal letter on the wall, it's often something like a letter telling you that you've won some great award or an honor. Maybe some of you have framed the letter you received telling you that you've been accepted to Duke. But the letter I have on my wall isn't quite that either. It is a letter I received from Duke some years ago. But instead of being an acceptance of any sort, it's a rejection letter. A letter telling me that I was not going to be given a job as a faculty member here. Actually, it's worse than that. The letter thanks me for applying to the job and then goes on to say that my application ranked in the top third of all applications they received. But then it goes on to tell me that over 260 people applied for that job. For a faculty job like this, only a dozen or so candidates might be considered seriously, and only 3, maybe 4 or 5 might be given an interview. You do the math. I realized by telling me that I was in the top third, the letter was really saying, as politely as possible, that at least I wasn't the worst loser in the pack. So why do I have that letter framed on my wall? The answer is pretty simple, and it's the reason I'm at Duke today. You see, I was pretty bummed out to get that letter because I thought Duke would be a great place for me to be, to teach, to do research. Everything I knew about Duke led me to believe that this was a place where I would fit well as a scholar, a place that would fit me well, a place where I would belong. So sure, I was really disappointed to get this letter. But after I got over being bummed out, I thought to myself, hey, I do belong at Duke. They just don't know it yet. That's why, when another job in my area came open a little while later, I applied again. Even more than the first time, I felt like I belonged here, and this time, Duke agreed. Some months ago, we told you that you belong here at Duke. You checked online and saw that you had been admitted, which is our way of saying, yes, you belong here. And you agreed with us. You thought you belong here too, and now finally, here we all are as Duke's class of 2021. This convocation actually is when you officially become a Duke student. It's also our chance to say again, in person now, that you belong here, each and every one of you. You belong here. These are easy words to say, but truth be told, these aren't words that we can or should take for granted. To truly belong someplace is much deeper than just being there. I'm sure all of you have had the experience of being invited to some social occasion or asked to join some club or participate in some event, and when you showed up, you thought, I don't fit in here. Who are these people? I don't belong here. Just being invited, just showing up, just being someplace doesn't necessarily mean you'll belong there in the fullest sense of that word. But it is the fullest sense of that word, to belong, that we want you to experience at Duke. Some of you may already have had your moment of doubt, a moment in which you questioned whether you really belong at Duke. You might have thought to yourself, everybody already knows how this place works except me. I don't even know how to take that C1. Well, now you know that President Price is still working that one out too. Or maybe you thought everyone here seems so smart, so accomplished. Maybe they made a mistake letting me in. Or worse, you might have thought, I don't see many people here who are like me. People who come from the same kind of place I do. Where are the people who share my values? Where are the folks I can talk to? People who can really understand who I am. Or maybe you ran into somebody who just seemed plain unwelcoming. Somebody who gave you the impression that they thought you don't belong here. Any of that would be truly unfortunate. We do everything we can to help you belong here, but it could happen. It could happen that at some point you may feel like you don't belong. Maybe you'll have that feeling next week, or next month, or next year. A feeling of doubt that you belong at Duke, or that Duke really wants you to be part of its community, that Duke belongs to you. I am hoping that this will never be the case for any of you, but I'm admitting that it's a possibility. I'm admitting it's a possibility because it's something we need to work hard on together to avoid. This is important because if even one of you feels like you don't belong as part of our community, or that Duke doesn't belong to you, it will be our loss, yours and ours and mine. Let me tell you why. Your Duke education is going to be far more than the 30-some classes you take over the next 4 years. At Duke, as President Price has said, you are going to discover an extraordinary richness and diversity of people, and the perspectives those people bring, and the ideas they bring, and how you encounter them in and out of the classroom, the likes of which you will rarely encounter anywhere else, with the opportunity to learn something from every one of these people and to benefit from encountering such a wide range of ideas and interests. Look around you. I am as sure as the day is long that you could learn something from each and every person in this chapel right now. And I know it's equally true that every one of you has something that you could teach to someone else here as well. And it's not just the people in this room. Think of the other 5,000 or so undergraduates who are going to be returning in a few days, not to mention the faculty you'll be working with, as well as the staff, the thousands of people who make this place tick, the people who run our offices, who take care of our buildings and our beautiful campus, who drive that C1 bus, who prepare and serve our food. You can learn something from any one of these people, and they can learn from you too. That's what a great university is about. It's the richness and diversity of ideas, perspectives, and human experience that makes a Duke education so excellent. But here's the thing. We only learn best from each other and teach each other well if we all feel like we belong. We can only achieve the excellence that lies in the potential of the different people and perspectives, the different aspirations and ideas we've brought together at Duke, if everyone feels equally that Duke belongs to them. Some of the people you meet here will indeed be quite different from you, and you may find some of the ideas you encounter to be very challenging. A sense of belonging makes the exchange of challenging ideas flow more easily. It's the comfort of knowing that you do truly belong, regardless of differences, that helps us all teach and learn from each other. This is why I want you to feel deep in your bones that you belong here at Duke and that Duke belongs to you. There's another important thing to understand about what it means to belong, which is that belonging does not mean conforming. Let me repeat that because it's important. Belonging is not conforming. We invited you to join Duke because of who you are, not because of who we thought you should be. Of course, we hope that you grow some during your time at Duke, that you broaden your experience, that you deepen your thinking, and I'm sure that when you leave Duke, you will be a different person than you are today. But the point is to become more of who you really are, not more like anyone else. The excellence of this place emerges from the very different kinds of people who join our community, and to diminish those differences through conformity would only diminish our excellence. You belong at Duke for who you are, on your own terms. The other side of that coin is important to keep in mind too, however. I want you to feel like you belong at Duke on your own terms, but I also ask you to allow your fellow students and everyone else in the Duke community to be who they are on their own terms. This is difficult sometimes. You may meet people who are very hard for you to understand, and you may encounter ideas that are very hard for you to fathom, ideas that you don't agree with. But if you don't understand how somebody is the way they are or why they think the way they do, don't dismiss them. Engage them, and do so with respect and civility. This is not always easy, and it seems harder these days as some people have become so polarized in their thinking and so unwelcoming in their actions. Frankly, sometimes it may seem too hard, but I ask you, as our newest Dukies, to do everything you can to help others in our community feel like they belong here too. If everyone at Duke feels like they belong, then each of us will be less likely to doubt that we belong. The poet Maya Angelou was a great friend to Duke, and before her passing, she would come every year and speak here in Duke Chapel. Dr. Angelou gave us many words of wisdom, but one theme to which she frequently returned seems particularly apt today. I am a human being, Dr. Angelou would say, so nothing human can be alien to me. I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. Actually, in saying this, Dr. Angelou was translating another great poet, Terence, who lived in Rome in the 2nd century AD. Almost 2,000 years later, and across light years of cultural difference, Dr. Angelou reminded us that this fundamental idea remains unchanged. If any human is capable of thinking something or doing something, then because we are all human, we have the capability to think that way or do that thing too. This is the deepest level of what it means to belong. There is a caution in this statement to understand that we are all capable of doing whatever bad things a human may think or do. But far more importantly, there is enormous optimism in this idea, an optimism that can frame your time at Duke and beyond. Over the next 4 years, you'll encounter great ideas and great accomplishments in the arts, the humanities, in science, and engineering, and the social sciences, and you'll meet remarkable people who are responsible for these ideas and these accomplishments. These ideas are human ideas. These accomplishments are human accomplishments. There is nothing human that can be alien to you. So as you encounter these great ideas, as you meet these wonderful people, know that you too can achieve the same. This idea is much bigger than Duke, of course, but now that you belong at Duke, there's nothing here that you can't be part of, nothing that you can't achieve as well. The letter I have framed on my wall, the one rejecting me from Duke many years ago, ends in a funny way, by asking if I want my application materials returned. Apparently, not only did Duke reject me back then the first time, they didn't even want a trace of anything that me lying around. I kept that letter as an ironic gesture of determination, but it also reminded me back then that you can't take belonging for granted. You have to work at it. Nowadays, that letter is no longer about me. It's about you. When I reread that letter now, I'm reminded not only of how fortunate I am to have had the opportunity to belong here at Duke, but also, and far more important these days, I'm reminded about how fortunate we are that you now belong at Duke too. You see, the Duke I know today is much better than the Duke I wanted to be part of back then. And you are the reason that Duke continues to get better and better. Each time someone new joins our ranks, each time someone new comes with their individual talents, ideas, passions, and vision, Duke gets that much better. Now that you belong at Duke, each of you is making us all that much more excellent. Belong here and make us better by being who you are. Welcome to Duke. It's now my privilege to introduce you to some student leaders, fellow students who will play an important role in your Duke experience in the coming year. Let me first introduce the co-chairs of the First Year Advisory Counselor Program. Whitney Hazard, please stand up, Whitney. Whitney is a senior from Weston, Massachusetts. She's majoring in public policy with certificates in information science and in innovation and entrepreneurship. And then there's Kyle Miller, who is also a co-chair of the first-year advisory program. Kyle is a senior from Honolulu, Hawaii. He's majoring in biology with a minor in chemistry and a certificate in innovation and entrepreneurship. The FACs, as we call them, are sort of our first responders in helping you belong at Duke. They were the people who were initially there to enthusiastically unload your car and haul it up to your rooms while they were dancing in between times. But going forward, they're going to help you in oh so many ways to settle in and belong here in your first year at Duke. Thank you. Next, let me introduce Kushal Kadakia, who is chair of the Honor Council. The Honor Council is a group of undergraduates who work with faculty and staff to promote honor, integrity, and ethical behavior in university life, as embodied in Duke's Code of Conduct, our community standard. Thank you, Kushal. I've known Kushal since he was a freshman, and he always keeps me in line. Kushal is a junior from Houston, Texas, and he's majoring in biology and public policy. Finally, I take enormous pleasure in introducing Riyanka Ganguly, who is president of Duke Student Government. Riyanka is a senior from Seattle, Washington, and a political science major with a chemistry minor. And now I invite Riyanka to say a few words to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Riyanka Ganguly, and I cannot express how excited I am today to be here as your student body president. I came into Duke with interests I was determined not to let become just listed activities on the Common App. In high school, by working at a crisis line for teens and peer education programs, I discovered a passion for engaging my peers in conversation about healthy relationships. On Duke's campus, it baffled me to see how many of my friends could get an A on the hardest chemistry test, but not know how sexually transmitted diseases were spread or what consent really meant. I knew we needed to have open education and conversation on campus. So, through Duke Student Government, I worked with faculty and administration, as well as a phenomenal group of student staffers to open a sexual health resource center. One that students could come to if they wanted answers to physiological and cultural questions about sexual health. It's called the Peer Advocacy for Sexual Health Center, or PASH for short, with the tagline being, "Are you ready to get passionate?" Great pun courtesy of yours truly. I tried to balance my genuine interest in sexual health with the cultural expectations that I pursue a mainstream career path. In my case, the pressure came from growing up around people who either were doctors or insisted that I be a doctor. But the more I delved into sexual health education, whether in Ethiopia through my Duke Engage Independent project or on campus, the more I realized I didn't want to be just a doctor. I wanted to also get involved through policy, activism, and destigmatization. There has always been stigma related to this topic, and at first, the topic was uncomfortable to talk about on campus. But I learned that you have to take a stand for what you believe in. This was our time as a center to change the game and for me to be a leader and a change maker. Through this experience, there were 3 lessons that I learned. First, if an opportunity doesn't exist at Duke, create it. Don't constrain yourself to the already imagined. If my team had done so, PASH would never exist. Second, don't let your future be outlined by a checklist that someone else has assigned for you. I became my happiest when I let go of all the pressure to check off boxes on arbitrary lists for graduate school. You were chosen to Duke precisely because you have the ability to define your own box. And third, if there's something that you are passionate about, you owe it to yourself to pursue it, regardless of how unconventional. So, now that I've shared my story with you, I'm here to ask you, are you ready to get passionate? Because Duke is a place where you can not only continue your passions from high school, but also learn to love very new and unexpected subjects. I would have never expected during a week that one day I'd be involved with policymaking through student government and deciding to major in political science. Be open to the possibility that your goals will change, all the while questioning the origin and purpose of your goals. Why am I really passionate about this subject? Is it because of gender roles, cultural expectations, my parents' career paths? What else could I be passionate about? Where might this passion take me? Take that interesting class that doesn't fit your major, or sign up for an extracurricular that you never thought you would have gotten involved in. But also, I'm here to tell you to go even further. The greatest way to find fire within yourself is to surround yourself with people who are different than you, who inspire you. You are not going to find new passions by being around people who look like you, who think like you, who come from the same place as you. Find what genuinely excites you. Find what you could get so passionate about that you could go on stage, move your arms around wildly, and forget your stage fright about in front of 4,000 people. I discovered my passions by taking risks, some of which were tackling a stigmatized topic and putting myself out there by running for student body president. It won't happen if you are too afraid to hear the word no from some people, or if you don't believe in yourself and your mission. Every one of you is here in this room because this university believed in you, chose you. So raise the standards for you. Take the time to ask your fellow classmates who are different from you what issues keep them up at night, what hobbies keep them going, what change they want to make, what ideas they have. Find your issue, because frankly, there are too many injustices in this world, in our community, too many opportunities to take at Duke, and too many ways to figure out how to be someone who cares about something bigger than yourself. Push yourself, not just to be inspired by others, but to also be the type of person that inspires. Class of 2021, welcome to an incredibly impactful 4 years of your life. And get ready to get passionate. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Joseph Tan, who will be performing for us the Duke Alma Mater. Joseph is a junior from Singapore with a major in psychology and is a member of the Duke Chorale.
As you near the conclusion of your first official gathering as undergraduate students of Duke, I ask you now to join me in a time-honored tradition, the singing of the Alma Mater. Dear Old Duke, as it is now popularly known, was composed by Robert Henry James, a member of the Trinity class of 1924. He said that he was inspired to write a song that would show his gratitude and devotion to his university. I hope that the words of the Alma Mater will ring true for you, not only during your years at Duke, but throughout your lives, and that your time at this place will inspire you ever to turn, indeed, to dear old Duke. I will sing the Alma Mater through once, and then I invite you to join me in singing it. Please stand and remain standing throughout the closing procession. Welcome to Duke. Duke, thy name will sing. To thee our voices raise, will raise. To thee our anthems ring. In everlasting praise. And though on life's broad sea our fates may far us bear, we'll ever turn to thee.